Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Hello farmers, and welcome back to Mercury Farms. It is late evening and let's see, how do I start this video? This is the second time I've recorded this episode. What you might be saying? What? Yeah, so I was pretty much done recording this episode. I had like a couple minutes left to go, and I lost power. And when losing power when recording something, since I didn't end the recording and you lose power, the file can get corrupted, and that pretty much is what happened here. So I mean, the episode that and all the work I've done, that we've already done, and you didn't see, what a great episode that was. One of my best. I mean, top notch. So yeah, so I want to bring up to speed what has been done and what we are doing. This is pretty much where I was when I lost power. Plowing this field with a Deuce Fire. We're up here by the BGA, the / cornfield. Yeah, now I got to remember what I was talking about last episode and what my plans were and what we're doing. So the last episode, which is now this episode, which is going to be really confusing. I hope you're following along. So let me just start with this field here. As I said, it's getting a late evening. Yeah, so we're plowing this field here, obviously, and we usually put corn back in, but the plan is to put sugar beet into this field. So since there was corn here before, I had to plow it anyways, and of course when I do sugar beet, I have to plow it anyways. Sugar beet, the reason for sugar beet is, well, I got the harvester, and it's just sitting there, and I keep trying to mix up what kind of crops that we do. We've only done sugar beet once, but that was in the big livestock market field. So I figured this field's obviously smaller, it wouldn't be bad. So there is that. While we're over here, the chaff from last week, the Deuce Fire finished compacting that, and that is covered. At this point, it's probably like 25% fermented, so that's getting along just fine. Actually, let me just stop plowing here for a second, and we'll go to the PDA to kind of get you up to speed what I actually did, why it's still fresh in my brain. So this field here, we harvested last week. I limed this field with, what did we lime that field? I think it was a Deuce Fire I limed it with. And right now we got the T8 planting down some oats here. I had just finished harvesting this wheat field, and we topped off the chickens. So the chickens are well fed, and they got plenty of water, so they're good for 10 days. And of course we got straw swaths here. I hired the Case Puma to weed out this field. I talked about the sealed milk. Yes, there's a great demand for sealed milk right now, at sealed milk, for milk. But the price is $13.85, which is not bad. But as we know, that can get up to $1,500, so I'm holding out on it. And we do have plenty of milk. As you can see, we got almost 160,000 liters of milk at this point. And let's see, what else did we talk about? Oh yeah, I couldn't remember what I planted here. We planted corn. Yeah, so that is like a brief summary. And I talked about waiting to do sunflowers in the next episode, which now could be in this episode. I might do it. I don't know. Yeah, because that harvest will take a while. And now I'm kind of short on time because right now as I'm recording this episode should actually be uploading and to YouTube, and now here I am recording it again. So yeah, let's see, what else did I talk about that was of great importance? Oh yeah, so I was kind of hoping at the end of the episode to get up to $100,000 so we can go ahead and buy our 40 cows. So I want to buy 10 cows of each that we have, which would be a total of 40. And, oh yeah, as I was plowing this field, I was talking about, this is the first time we got to plow this field with a Deuce Fire. And as you can see, if you remember the T8 plowing uphill right here, I was slowing down to about, what? Like 5-6 miles an hour. And if you just saw right there, the Deuce Fire plowing up this hill, we stayed right near the top speed right now, which is 13 miles an hour. So yeah, the Deuce Fire, a great addition to the farm. He's going to speed up working in fields like this just a little bit. The T8 does struggle. I mean, the T8 has 435 horsepower, and I think this one, I think the Deuce Fire is what, 750 horsepower, right in that general area. So yeah, that's definitely the biggest reason why he's not slowing down. I was also talking about, and I don't know if any of you run into this problem, but when it comes to plowing fields, I never hire a worker to plow a field, because I found this out way back when I started doing Hawke's Bay. And I did a lot of testing on this, trying to figure out what was causing it. So if I hire a worker to plow a field, sometimes it works fine, and other times the game will lock up and freeze on me, meaning Farming Simulator itself. And what will happen is, so if I hire a worker, when he gets to the end of the field, the worker won't stop and turn around. He'll keep on just like going straight. And all of a sudden, in the upper right hand corner, if you watch your money, like when you hire a worker, it goes down at a steady pace. I would, like right now, I could lose that $42,000 in a matter of a minute. It's like I got 1,000 workers at once going or something. So every time I plow a field, it's always with course plate, or I do it myself. So I thought it was this modded plow here. So I tried a base game plow with a base game tractor. I ran into the same problem. I think that was on Hawke's Bay. I was testing it, and so I got a modded conflict somewhere. A modded conflict? A conflicting mod. Yeah, words. But anyways, so now I got to redo my plan for this episode, because I was pretty much, I was like, hopefully it doesn't crash now, or I lose power or anything like that. But yeah, I was like right about here plowing this field. When I got done plowing this field, I was like, hey, that does it for this episode. You know, that's where I was pretty much was. I was like 2 or 3 minutes away from wrapping up the episode, and now here I am recording it all over again. Yeah, so I've been selling some manure. Our Volvo truck and trailer is up at the cow farm. He's loading up the manure, and we've been selling that to BGA. So I'm hoping when the morning comes, along with our property income and some BGA income, that if we get up to $100,000, I can go ahead and buy our extra 40 cows. And like I said, before I go back to the Pacific Northwest, but we should have no problem getting there, the sunflower harvest should give us enough cash when we go back. I can buy another field on the upper plateau. So we'll see what happens there by the end of this week, which is kind of prolonged now, since this is like the second episode, but it's the first episode kind of a thing. Yeah, so I guess in the morning now what I'll do is I'll grab the Deuce Fire one more time. We'll come up here with the cultivator and we'll cultivate this field. And I don't know if I'm going to do the sunflower harvest or not. I mean, that's going to be, I mean, I guess I could get my harvester down to the big field, because the sunflower should be ready in the morning. Pretty darn close, but if it's not, it'll be, like I said, it should be in the morning hours. It should be. I guess I can come up here and cultivate and get the harvester start harvesting the sunflowers. And right now the sunflower price was dropping, and it stopped dropping. I think it's like a 800 and something. So hopefully when it starts going back up, we get to that wonderful $1,100 per 1,000, because we're going to have lots of sunflower to go. So I think that pretty much catches you up to speed. Like I said, though, I'm running kind of short in time for recording, because I got to still render this video and get it uploaded now, which I should have been doing already. I mean, technically I should be in bed already, but that's not happening. So here I am. Yeah, this video might be just a lot of me working, no jump cuts, and yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to the harvest of sunflowers or not. But yeah, we can definitely see that the Deuce Fire has no problem plowing up this field going uphill. Let's see, we're doing at 13. So like I said, the T8 would slow down to like about 6 miles an hour. And as we can see, when the Deuce Fire gets up here, I mean, if he slows down, it's just a little bit. Let's see if he slows down at all. So yeah, 12. Down to 11 a little bit. Yeah, so much more improved work getting this field turned around for sure. But I mean, I'm pretty sure when morning comes, I'll have the cornfield, or the tree field, sorry, the tree field that we planted corn in, and the field that we're planting in now, oats. I'm pretty sure both of those fields will probably have weeds in them when morning comes, so I might have to do some weeding, which is fine. So I might just save the sunflower harvest until next episode, which was my original plan. But definitely, yep, we'll be putting some sugar beet into this field. Get to use our beet harvester, or our root crop harvester one more time, at least. Hate to spend that much on the harvester and only use it like once and then not use it again. Because the plan is in a couple weeks' time to sell this farm off. Because like I said, I am hoping in a couple weeks' time from now to really start my season's Let's Play. And I've been trying to come up with a plan, or I shouldn't say come up with a plan. I have some kind of a plan of how seasons will be done. It'll be a fresh start of a Let's Play. So I'm not transferring the money from Mercury Farms over to Seasons. Selling this farm will stay into this Let's Play, and that money, when we sell this farm off, all that money will go to the Pacific Northwest. And I'm thinking instead of buying fields, well, all that money is we'll pay off as much of the loan as we can. And I'm probably going to be surprised how much this farm is worth. Because I was kind of surprised when I sold off Ravenport how much that farm was worth. I think when I did Ravenport, I think I guessed, it's hard to, you know, it's been a while now, but I think I was guessing like $8 million that farm was worth. It ended up being like 17. I have no idea how much this farm is worth at all. With all the equipment and the animals and the fields that we have, I really don't know. Alright, so the field is plowed. I mean, I do have time to actually cultivate it this evening, I think. Yeah, I say we just go ahead and drop the plow. I got another hour and a half-ish before it gets kind of on the dark side. And we can see my corn, the cornfield down here. Looks like the crops just sprung in. So that'll have to get fertilized. Oh, I also did mention, if you're wondering why I did not do any digestive injection into the field before we seeded it, is because we are pretty much out of digestate other than what I have in storage down at the livestock market field. And that is just going to remain there for next time that before that gets reseeded, which won't be too far off. Let's lower that. Come on, plow, lower down. There you go. Now every time I load into Mercury Farms, I'm going to have to move some of this equipment around. I'm having the problem with these, these two things right here. The injector and our cultivator. I can straighten them up, reload the game, and come back in. And these are all, I don't know what's causing it to do that. So we're going to have to kind of cheat this a little bit here by moving that around. There we go. I mean, that stayed straight, but the cultivator is all out of whack. Alright, let's see if I can get this out of here without causing too much trouble. I guess I could try parking that over by our loading wagon. Going to get stuck on anything. And then I can put my other trailer in there by the injector. I think that would probably work best. So the Case Puma does have his narrow wheels on from weeding the field where our old house used to be. So he can get going on fertilizing the cornfield, and probably, I would assume the oat field will grow overnight as well. And he can fertilize those tomorrow while we're busy doing something. Like I said, I might just have to record this with no jump cuts. I may not even have time to do sunflower harvest. Might just take care of the animals and might have to wrap up the episode. It might be like a little bit of a short episode of me just doing this field here. What I should do, though, is I got to keep track of... Let me jump out of here, because I got to do this. I got to jump back to the belt system to unload the manure. So, yeah, how much manure we're down to? Finally, we're down to almost 100,000 liters. I was up to like 280, 290, somewhere in there. I'm just trying to do the manure so I can sell some before midnight and get the money from the BGA. Because I would like to have the $100,000 so I can do the cows. And you may be saying, well, if you're going to sell the farm in the not near future, not far off in the future, why get more cows? Well, I mean, I'll get the money back on the cows when I sell off the farm. So there's that. And then, of course, we'll get the extra milk. They'll reproduce a little bit faster, so I might get more cows. And also, let's see, well, get more milk, obviously. I think I may have said that or not. I don't know. I'm all confused now. I'll get that corner. I'll get the rest of the corner later on. And maybe in the morning, maybe I'll just grab the T8, come up here, and we'll reseed. Actually, maybe the Deuce Far will come up here with a seed roll. And we'll put down the sugar beet. And then we'll save the sunflower harvest for next episode, which was my original plan anyways. So maybe this whole episode will be on the BGA field. If I miss a little bit in the corner, that's fine. I really don't need to cultivate it. We do have a direct drill, but like I've said before, I don't think you would ever plow a field even with a direct drill and just go ahead and do it. I think you would cultivate it anyways. Might be too much for the direct drill to handle. Now let's see if we slow down going uphill with this big piece of machinery, because this cultivator does require 400 horsepower. The plow, I think, only requires 220. So I assume I'm going to lose some speed going up the hill here. Looks like our T8 is done seeding some oats. Yeah, we're not slowing down hardly at all, so... Yeah, this Deuce Far was definitely a nice addition to the farm. The only thing with this harrow, it's... You can't turn around and... in narrow spots, that's all. But it's definitely wide enough. It gets the job done rather quickly. So no complaints from me whatsoever. And we should be able to get this done before it gets too dark out. What I should do is probably do another headland at both sides so I can have room to turn around. And that should help out quite a bit. So yes, the chickens were topped off with some wheat, and I gave them some water as well. So they should be good for another 10 days with food and water. And by then we should have tons of eggs to sell. And like I said, I'm chancing it with the milk. I shouldn't say chancing it. We know that milk price can get above $1,500. So a great demand for under 14. I was like, yeah, I'll just wait. we will just wait on that and see if they change their mind on the price. I don't think they'll change it with the great demand, but when the great demand's over, we'll see if the price goes up or goes down. Because right now I'm just starting to be greedy with the prices here at Mercury Farms. Because I know every little bit I get from here goes over to the Pacific Northwest now. Yeah, so I think what I will do is in the morning maybe we'll just grab the Cedral, come up here, quickly throw down some sugar beet, and that's how we'll end the episode, I do believe. Yeah, so unfortunately you didn't get to see me lime the field. I jabbered on about some weird stuff when I was liming anyway, so who knows what the heck I talked about. I can't even go back and look myself at the video. Every time I try to go back and look at my recording, it just says invalid file. It's not the first time that's happened to me, though. Where I've lost power or my computer locked up on me. And, well, that was on my old computer. My old PC locked up on me as I was recording. And I thought, well, I'll just restart the PC and then the file will be there. I'm like, well, the file's there, just that the computer doesn't recognize the file for some reason. And I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the coding when you're recording. When you end the recording, I'm pretty sure there's like a code that goes on the end of the recording so it can read the file. And since I'm not the one ending the recording, like this time I lost power, and the time before I restarted my PC. By doing that, by not ending the recording, yeah, that's why the file is corrupted. If I do get time, maybe I'll try to see, go online and see how to go in there and recode it, the end of the file. Maybe I can read it. But by the time I do all that, this episode will be uploaded, and then it'll make no sense to put that file up anyways, that recording. There, so we are going to get this field cultivated before the sun sets. Yeah, and still, I'm not sure what's going on with me and Steam here and Farming Simulator, but on Steam there's an achievement for cultivating 100 acres, and I still haven't got that achievement at all. I'm curious, how many acres have I can go in here actually. Where is it? This one? So yeah, cultivated hectares. I think it's cultivate 100 hectares. On this map alone, I've done 83.76. I think on Ravenport, I've done 200. Pacific Northwest, I have no idea how much I've done there. Let's go ahead and park up our cultivator. I'm going to park the cultivator next to our loading wagon, because it seems like the cultivator and the digestate and injector are having some issues. Every time the game loads, it's almost like they're tangling up with one another. So let me try parking this guy in a different spot, and then I'll get my T8 out of the field. Looks like we got some lovely weeds already started. Let's see, we'll park the tractor here for now. Yep, he's all done planting some oats. Yeah, so there is our wheat field that I harvested. I talked about if I wanted to do straw or not, and then I fought with myself. We ended up doing a straw swath, because I said every little dollar counts. Oh, and our sunflowers are ready for harvest here, this field here. So if they're ready for, if they're ready here, then they're going to be ready at the livestock market field. But we'll probably not harvest it this episode. Let's see if I go to here. Yep, ready for harvest. Ready for harvest. And the price of sunflowers right now, what are we doing for sunflowers? So yeah, the price dropped down to 870, so hopefully that'll climb in the morning. So the milk price, yeah, there's a great demand. Yeah, the price is already dropping on that. I didn't give him no milk, so just have to wait for that price to stop dropping, and then the next time when it rises, hopefully it goes above and it's worth our while. Let me just switch this over to sugar beet. Did I just go back to soybeans? Yeah, I went right past it. And I went right past it again. I'm doing fantastic because I can't read apparently. Potatoes, sugar beet. But what I am going to do is we are going to seed it with the Deuce Fire because, yeah, the T8 does have a little problem with the hill. Park this guy up. Alright, so what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to just come in here, grab a little bit more manure. I'm going to head over to the BGA, sell this. I might even do some slurry from the cows. Do I have enough slurry to do a tank? And not so much, but I'll do it anyways because every little dollar counts. I don't think I'll get enough to buy the cows in the morning, but who knows. So let me go ahead and do this. I'll see you in the morning, and we'll plant some sugar beet, and if we have enough cash, which I'm thinking we probably will not, we might go ahead and get our cows. Well, with morning here, I've kind of changed my plans just a little bit. We are just shy of going ahead and buying our cows for today, but that should be no problem because the sunflower price did rise overnight, and I'll show you that in a minute. That's why I'm kind of changing my plans of what we're going to do. Basically what I'm doing here, just to wrap up the episode, we're going to come up here and just clean out the animals, and that's pretty much it for the rest of this episode. But yeah, if we go ahead and look at the price for sunflowers right now, it's $12.31. So yeah, the milk price finished dropping overnight. It dropped down to $1,055. So hopefully next time that climbs up, we will have what we need. I sold all the slurry and some manure. As you can see, that they need to be cleaned out. Well, most of the animals do. But yeah, I made a good amount of money from the BGA and, of course, property income, but didn't quite get us there. But we shall be there definitely next episode. I need to drop that off. Had to think about what buttons I had to hit here. So my plan is to start off next episode, obviously, get the combine harvester and the header over to the livestock market field and get harvesting that pronto. And while maybe that's harvesting that, we will grab the Deuce Fire and we'll grab the seed drill and we'll go up and do the sugar beets while that's harvesting. But for now, it's time to just clean out the chickens. Make sure everyone's in pretty good shape here. Obviously the chickens are doing the egg thing. But by the end of next episode, by harvesting those sunflowers, we're going to have a good idea of where we are. Like I said, I needed $100,000 for the cows, so we only need another $10,000 for that. And then all the other money that we get is going to go into... Are you unloading that manure? Yes, you are. Yeah, all the extra money is going to go to the Pacific Northwest, so when I go back there, I can buy, I don't know, one field, depending on how much money we make. But I want to buy some more fields in the Upper Plateau on the Pacific Northwest so I can do more work up there. There are the cows all cleaned up. How are the sheep doing on food? The cows, I mean, they're okay. They can wait until after the harvest. The sheep are okay on water and hay. They just need to be cleaned, and the chickens, we just cleaned them, so they just really need to be cleaned up today. They don't really need to be fed otherwise. But the other thing I also want to do is I want to lease that wood chipper and come up here to our quote-unquote grass fields and get rid of those trees. The last time I cut the grass and tried to make hay in that field, it was, you know, the fun of having the trees in the field are over. It's time to get rid of the trees so I can be more productive. And I'll get some money from the wood chips. Yes, you know, that is kind of a cheaty mod if you ask me, but we're going to use it anyways. Yeah. Basically, you just go up to the tree and the wood chipper does, I mean, the thing just eats the whole tree up and makes it into wood chips. But it's got those couple funny trees up there that we need to handle. And yes, I am terrible at picking up this grass once in a while. There we go. That's much better. I know I say this about the sheep all the time. Looks like they got a huge pile of hay and grass there. And then you go pick it up and it's not even 1,000 liters. So also, while in the next episode, while we're harvesting the sunflowers, in case Puma is going to be rather busy, he needs to get weeding the tree field, the oat field that we just did, and then he needs to turn around and also fertilize it. But that's something that I might do myself because fertilizing doesn't take too long. But it needs to be done. Yes, so our sunflowers are ready. We got a really good price. Windmill Hill, which is up by our orchards. So I'm going to need the trailer for sure in the field because I'm hoping we get a lot of sunflowers. Obviously for that price, a lot of sunflowers is going to pay off wonderfully for us. So the animals are cleaned out. It looks like our greenhouses, I always tell by the manure because the manure and water go down at the same rate. So that all looks fine there. And usually if those are fine, our orchards should be fine. That's not low enough. There we go. Nope, it's stuck on the tractor. There we go. Yeah, so kind of a weird episode for me because I recorded this episode kind of like twice. Feels like this episode is going to be kind of long, but it may not be. I have no idea at this point. Yep, load up. Sometimes I gotta hop into the belt to get it to unload the manure, and then other times I don't. I just have to be near it. But yeah, I'll have to bring the trailer over, dump the manure at the BGA, and then of course give it a good wash. Yeah, but next episode we're gonna harvest the sunflowers. We're gonna get 40 more cows. So basically 10 more cows of each, so we'll be at 36. Yeah, 36 for each. And then 10 more hours, we get 4 more cows as it is. And then our milk production will go way up. For sure. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up for today's episode. Hopefully you did enjoy it. I do appreciate you watching as always. And I'll catch you next time on Mercury Farms. But until then, have a good one.